doing well on this fine afternoon. Currently, as I'm recording this, a lot of people, they do this thing called ASMR. A lot of people do this to relax after a stressful day, or before they fall asleep. Some people read books. Some people parole social media. Some people scroll TikTok. But some people listen to people whisper into their ears and make sounds that relax them. So I thought I'd give that a go. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll get straight into that. We're having a lovely night on the town. Everything's gone swimmingly. It's not a date, but more of a getting to know each other type thing. You think I'm a cool guy, a pretty swell guy, a nice guy. Maybe a guy you can relate to. Maybe you think of this guy as more than a guy, but a king among men, the best man you've ever met. We walk back out of the restaurant. We pass my house first, because it's in the upper end of town. Obviously, I'm very rich. Get to my door and I say, "Wow, golly gee, I had a splendid night tonight. Hope we can do this again." And you say, "Oh my word, I also had a fantastic time. Specifically, the main meal, the lobster. I never have lobster, because I'm extremely poor, and I can't afford it. But thank you for paying for dinner tonight, because you were so rich and handsome." I say, "No worries, anytime." And then there's a slight pause, and I say, "Hey, would you happen to..." And then I pause again. We stare at each other intently. And then nervously I say, "Would you like to come in for a cup of tea and an arrowroot biscuit? I may be rich, but I haven't lost all touch with the common man." You ponder for a second, and you think, "Okay, this guy's cool. I like him. He's pretty sick. I will do that." So we come in. As you walk into my house, you get this unnerving feeling, like something isn't all there, something isn't right, something is challenging your senses, something's telling you this is not an idea that you should be taking. You should not be walking in with this guy. But then you fight back with sense and logic and say, "This guy's a rich, beautiful man who just paid for my lobster. The least I can do is have a cup of tea. He seems nice." So you walk in, like a place that is fairly warm and tender, a place where you can relax and watch TV on a cold, rainy night, snuggled up. There is an open fire there, not currently on for safety reasons, as the vent is blocked and carbon monoxide poisoning is a very real threat. He tells you to take a seat and get comfortable. As he walks out the room, he goes to the kitchen. Or so you think. As you're sitting there, looking around the room, studying, watching, you notice a painting on the wall. Extremely graphic. You wonder to yourself, what kind of sicko would have this painting on their wall? And as you're pondering that question, he walks in with a hammer and an axe. Shocked, you look at him and say, what the hell is going on here? What's going on? And before you can even finish those words, kablooey, he's got you. You fight back, but as you put one arm up, the hammer cracks your bone. Arm broken. Your arm is broken now. You were done for. Another crunch is your skull as he continues to pound away. This is not what you thought the night would be. He keeps going until suddenly there is no more pain, just sorrow and amazement. This sicko is done with his plan. This is what he was planning all along. As the lifeless body lays there for all to see, mainly just him because he's the only one in the house. He looks at his masterpiece, his artwork, some sick painting that he's been fantasizing about for years. He realises, oh bother, I must clean this up. So he goes back into the kitchen, looking for things to help clean up because he hasn't thought about this yet. He rustles through the pots and the pans, the brooms, the mop, the bucket, the Mr. Sheen can, the Clean 20, and gets them all together. He then drags them out. Heavy, his feet are on the floor. One step by one step. He just keeps going. And the weight becomes too much for him and he falls and hits the ground hard. Concussed, he looks up at the sky and says, what's happening? He continues to look around before he comes to his senses. He stands back up again and continues his he gets there and he pulls out a plastic bag to wrap you up in. And he says, "Hey, fuck you. This is what you get, you stupid cunt." He's a very angry man. I don't know what he's talking about, honestly. He's a sicko. Then he hears a knock at the door. He's muffled by the sound of wood hitting the voice. We find out that it's comedian and talk show host Jay Leno who's committed these heinous acts. Once again, there's one more knock and one more plea for Jay to come out. But as Jay stands there still, there's no more knocking. There's one big through the door. And Jay Leno, intending to put up a fight, loses and is shot 20 times in the chest and head for his heinous acts. A cruel end to a cruel man. I hope everyone who's listening, who is still awake after this sensuous experience, enjoyed this little ASMR video, and I hope you are relaxed truly, and I hope all the anxiety of people living in the roof or in your walls secretly has dissipated, and I hope that you find peace and a certain